There's not one guy, one person in the history of this program that's bigger than the program.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
Ooh, what's up, everyone? Welcome into episode number 84 of the Program Guys Podcast. My name is Mason Prince, joined with you as always by Ryan Tyson, Mark Hall, Matt Gann, Patrick Hertzberger. Today is Wednesday, August 16th. Be sure to like, subscribe on our YouTube channel. Trying to hit 1,700 subscribers. And we're also trying to hit 2,000 by the time the season starts. Folks, we're creeping up on it. Only a couple weeks away. Couple short weeks away from chilling with my boy Ryan Tyson at the first OU football game of the year. You can follow us on Twitter at Program Guys with a Z, our Instagram Program Guys with a Z, our Facebook page Program Guys Podcast. On TikTok, it's blowing up, folks, at Program Guys.
Blowing up.
We have YouTube Shorts going on. Threads is dead. Don't follow us on Threads. It's dead. It's a joke. Yeah, that's how we're lit. Boys, how we doing? How we doing? And I do want to say everybody's in OU garb today. The boys are ready for the season. We can definitely tell. We usually wear OU stuff, I feel, most of the time, but like today it's blatantly obvious. Like we're full on OU.
I got my classic black shirt on, but I had to throw on the hat, you know.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect.
Ryan thinking he is a classic.
Yeah, Ryan. Ryan.
You know me. You know how everyone knows me.
Hold on, that was a joke because Gann makes fun of me every time I get on here because I'm wearing a black shirt. Literally, that was the joke.
I know.
Man,
that's did no one get that?
You do it.
I didn't get it.
That must be before I signed it.
Patrick said he didn't get it. Okay, well, we got football practice going on right now. Football games coming up quite soon. Speaking of football games, starting very soon, Patrick Hertzberger, we got some massive news. Matt, sponsor alert.
Wow. Here we go. Let's hear it, Pat.
How
that was
every
bad.
Alert is that now? I have different versions.
It went from the
here
horn
we go.
to wow.
Yeah. All right, Patrick.
Okay, sponsor alert. Stop what you're doing right now. Go click the link for our Pick'em League. So our NCAA Pick'em League, you're picking teams by the spread, and you're picking each big game. They throw out the big games, right? So go join our Pick'em League. We got about 20 people in there right now. We'll get up to about 100 by the time the season starts. Our Pick'em League is sponsored by Hype Shoe Company. The top 3 winners of the Pick'em League will get a free pair of Hype Shoe sliders. They have NCAA college shoes, but you can also customize your own shoe. So if you just want a picture of your dog on the shoe, you got that covered. Just pick correctly in our Pick'em League, and you can have the chance to win a pair of Hype shoes.
Like Patrick said, top 3 in the Pick'em League. Go home with shoes, people. We all have a pair. I wear mine every single day. And this is not just an ad. Look, Matt's got them up. If you watch on YouTube right now, Matt's got the pair that we all have. They're solid shoes,
They're
solid
very
quality, very comfortable. I love them. The Pick'em League, going to be a whole lot of fun. Going to be going on all season long. Join us, though, because once week 1 starts, we're shutting entries down. Like that's all you get until week 1. Week 0 does not count, I believe. I think we're starting week 1 on Labor Day. So make some week 0 picks if you want, but like week 1 is
like the
starts.
Notre Dame game not count though?
No, not in. I made our picks today.
Got it.
I made our picks today, and Notre Dame's not on there. Matt,
hold on. Before we move on, I just have to say, whoever entered the league and put their names as Gann Smells Like Cheese and Harley Davidson, if you know the inside joke, I'm coming for you. I will find out. I have a particular set of skills, and I will find out who you two are. It might be the same person for all I know.
It's Stink Ass Cat. I'm telling you.
I got a text message today from Gann Smells Like Cheese. I know who it is.
That's
the first clue. The first clue to drop, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting. But I'm coming after it for you. Those are some low blows. I'm going to take you out in the College Pick'em League. Join us. Can't wait to destroy you all.
Smells like cheese is such a great insult. It's so good.
It really is, man. It tickles me every time I read it. It's so good, man.
I hope they're at the top and we have to say it every week.
I know, it's perfect. I hope they crush it. It's like Frat Loops last year. You got to say it every week. You know what I mean? All right. Mark's got some a little side project he's been working on for the people. Mark, tell the people what you got going on.
Absolutely. So you may notice that we don't have a ton of offense, defensive preview content coming your way right now. There's just been so much news, right? There's been so much recruiting. There's been big picture, right? Realignment stuff. There's been fall camp. And while we're hitting all the broad stuff, I thought it'd be really cool to also dive in a little bit deeper. So starting this Friday, you're going to be seeing, we'll all start blasting it out from the account, position by position previews dropped by yours truly and usually another member of the guys. I might get some other friends in there, some other people that know what they're talking about to talk positions. But for example, so far we've got running back done, we've got wide receiver done, we've got tight end done. We've been banking these things. And we're going to be dropping them at a steady clip starting on Friday, all the way up until the season starts September 2nd. So think that's an episode every few days coming your way where you're going to hear your favorite guys talking your favorite positions. In addition to that, I've painstakingly gone through the entire Oklahoma roster in 2023, and I'm bringing you a position by position breakdown. They've all broken way too many words, and that's going to be attached to each one of those videos as a link to somewhere where you can go access that too. So definitely check out the videos, check out the conversations I'm having with the guys, and please go check out the written work too, because I'm doing way more than I wanted to. And it is a lot of fun, but it only works out if you guys make it work out. So go check it out. Boomer Sooner. It's going to be on programguys.com. So go ahead and favorite that, because that's going to be your hub for Program Guys content moving forward.
Bookmark it. Not the only hub that Matt Gann likes, that's for certain. All right, so we got some OU football. What? Matt likes a lot of hubs.
That didn't even make any sense, but
no.
OU football.
Keep it in.
OU football, baby. Some recruiting news to go over, okay? Hey, and if you're watching this right now and you're thinking, oh, can't wait for them to be all doom and gloom, stop. Okay, we're gonna be happy for a little bit. Let me be happy I know my truth. Okay, Jaden Nickens commits to OU, wide receiver, 6'3", 190, 4-star class of 2025. So he's that's another Emmett Jones guy. Emmett Jones stays working, and Emmett Jones continues to look very, very good as the new wide receivers coach. All right, Williams Nwaneri. He's going to Missouri. And Caden Durham going to LSU. We knew the bag was going to be thrown at Williams Nwaneri. Did we not?
Yes, we did.
No, we knew.
Yeah. It's not a knock on Missouri. Smoke him if you got him. Right? But anything to add on Williams Nwaneri? I feel like I'm like full on Bill Belichick. We're on to Cincinnati. I've already moved on. I'm
happy for the kid. I've moved on. I moved on the second I saw the video of the Missouri coach jumping on a different coach.
Cringy.
And hugging. I felt very happy for him at that point because they were acting like they won the Super Bowl. And we might have not acted that way because we've been there before. We know how to get these high-level recruits, and it's not abnormal.
Good for Missouri. Good for Mizzou. You pull every lever that you have within the program, from the head coach to the AD to the state legislature, allowing the school to pay him now versus waiting until he's on campus for any other school. When you have that much in your arsenal, and we haven't seen what the legal repercussions of possibly bailing on that later and signing elsewhere could be, of course he commits to Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
There is no track record of success there. There's no track record of building defensive linemen that are ready to play in the NFL the way that you have with the coaching staff at Oklahoma. But he just changed his life and the life of his entire family, no matter what happens when he leaves Missouri. So you can't you can't bash that, right? That's what we want these kids to be able to do, is make money off of your talent. And Williams Nwaneri is going to have an excellent opportunity to do so.
Magan.
highest rated recruit Missouri has ever had. Deservedly so. He gets the bag, secures the bag, just like you said, or Mark just said. I can't say I'm disappointed, to have possibly him on the defensive line with all the other additions that are coming into 2024. I think this puts even bigger emphasis on the guy that we don't like to talk about, almost the name who shall not be named, David Stone. That will be an absolute
Or Voldemort.
huge commitment. Yeah,
No.
him too. But August 26th can't come soon enough, because if we miss out on a guy like that and Williams, it's going to start doing a domino effect that I'm not going to like. But there's some big other names that are coming up, but really need to see what David Smith. Happy for Williams. He chose where he's from, the money. It's hard to turn that down, but can't say I'm not disappointed to add a high recruit like him to the defensive line with Todd Bates and Miguel Chavis. I can't imagine what kind of coaching and development they would have done with him. And who knows? It's so early on, he could easily change his mind. We've seen instances where that happens. The same thing happened to Peyton Bowen. I don't think it will happen with Williams and Nwaneri, but you never know. I'm sure that BV and company are not going to stop calling until they're absolutely 100% sure.
Mark, you want to jump back in?
Stoney's a Sooner.
Yeah, David. Matt was making.
So let's not call him Voldemort. Is sort of the thing,
no,
because
Matt was
this
making,
is a Sooner, baby.
Yeah. Matt was making a joke that, like, I've been on the side of, we talk about David Stone every week, and I feel like the news is there is no news with David Stone, and like that Matt was kind of making that joke for me.
Absolutely.
So, like, Matt,
That's what he meant.
Yeah, Matt.
Thank you, Patrick.
Matt's not
friend.
anti-David Stone. This is a pro-David Stone podcast.
Yeah.
Let's
We
be
need
on
the
the
biggest,
come on by.
the most.
Let's be on the record. Ryan Tyson, what do you got to add on Williams Nwaneri, if anything? Or Caden Durham, if you do.
No, I mean, you guys have
him,
you guys have kind of said this. Like, I think we all knew Caden Durham was going to LSU. We were like pretty confident about that going in. I don't think a lot of us. Patrick actually was the one who was like, he's a Sooner baby, and all of us were like, no. So, I think like that to me wasn't a shocker. We've talked quite frequently about how stacked our running back room is, so I'm not shocked about that one. Yeah, Williams Nwaneri, like you guys have talked about it. It's a huge opportunity for not just only him but also his family. He gets to stay close to home. He gets probably the biggest NIL deal. NIL hasn't been around that long, but like in Missouri history, along with passing of a law that allows him access to that immediately. That is too good to pass up. I don't care who you are. I probably do the same thing. So like it's something that like I can't be mad at the kid. I mean my biggest pet peeve with all of this is that there are so many people out there who are like hinging their happiness on the decisions of 17-year-old guys who like just haven't like decided what they want to do yet. Like who the hell knows what's actually going to happen? Am I pointing toward Mark and Matt with this? Am I calling you guys out?
Like Ryan's shitting on the base.
I'll say this. For anyone who is sad about Williams Nwaneri, his recruitment is not over. He hasn't signed on the dotted lines. Facts. He could go and play a year at Missouri. He could go play 2 years in Missouri. It doesn't mean he's not going to play for the University of Oklahoma one day. So stay optimistic.
Bold statement. The only thing that comes to mind, he's from Lee Summit, the pipeline, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Are we worried about future recruitment now that Missouri has put this potential law in place that Williams Nwaneri and other people might follow suit? Because I'm just thinking, if there's highly rated people coming out of not just Lee Summit but the state of Missouri, how did they not potentially look at that when Missouri is going to have that in their pipeline? I mean, potentially for the foreseeable future until something changes. It kind of makes me a little bit worried. I mean, Williams Nwaneri is not going to be the only guy that's going to be a highly rated recruit coming out of Missouri. It's not going to be all that often, but just think about future recruiting and impacts that could have.
Well, it gets to the way every state is able to dictate the game for their state universities. Oklahoma passed an NIL bill in the summer that was intended to help the local state schools avoid scrutiny for their NIL deals. That's what it was. That's what it is. And it just seems like Missouri is saying, hey, let's do the same thing, but let's do it even earlier so that we can keep you here, because the best players leave Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
There is no school like Oklahoma in Missouri that keeps the in-state guys like that. So I think it's a great point, because it starts to illustrate the different landscapes that every state suddenly might become, because there's no governing body. The NCAA is not regulating this. They're just not. They're not in charge of anything like that. And even then, would that be suppressing wages? Who knows? But it's every state's going to be different. Every school is going to have to operate under different rules, and Missouri beat us on this one.
So the only reason I don't think that this is going to be like a huge problem moving forward is, and I could completely be wrong here, and this is me predicting, like Williams Nwaneri is not just the best recruit out of Missouri this year. He is the best recruit in the country, considering a lot of other places, like a lot of recruiting websites calling him number one recruit in the country. Missouri could not lose this. You cannot lose an in-state number one coming out of the country. You just can't do it. That's not going to happen very often. And not for Missouri itself. And
it's
so
folly though, because a freshman tackle doesn't make you win games year one.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They think that if they can keep in-state talent this, it'll create the domino effect that they're looking for, right? Is that going to be the case? I don't see that being the case with that staff at Missouri. I just don't. But that is why this one in particular, to me, is kind of different, just because I really they passed that bill probably for this recruit. And that's probably not 100% right, but it could potentially be.
He's the number one player, and they saw that coming. Someone saw that coming.
And they were like, we can't allow this kid to leave the state, essentially. So we are going to give him everything. They are not going to do that with every single Lee's Summit graduate, right? And that's why I think those relationships still matter. To me, this is an anomaly. And because he's the number one recruit. If we had the number one recruit coming out of the country in Oklahoma, I would want the University of Oklahoma and the government in Oklahoma to throw every single thing they had at him, right? We cannot let them lose.
We're renovating the governor's mansion. I need you to settle down over there, Ryan. Thank you.
So I don't know. That's my opinion on it. That's why I think it's more of an anomaly this year than anything else, but I guess we'll see.
I think with NIL, where I land is that, so a school like Missouri getting Nwaneri, that's a success story of NIL, in my opinion, right? So Missouri going out, there's a kid in state. They want to keep him in state. They do everything they can to keep the kid in state. But what I shiver at is what's the line that I feel like because Mark mentioned there's no governing body. I feel like there needs to be a threshold, a quote unquote salary cap, essentially. Because if these kids want to go to, I don't know, let's just say Georgia, and Georgia has an unlimited spending amount, but maybe Georgia hits a threshold and they're like, hey, we've already spent, I'm making numbers up. We've already spent $100 million on new recruits this year. Well, LSU has only spent 85, and they're like, we have 15 more million to give you. And you hit a cap of NIL dollars. Again, there's no governing body, so there's no way to do that. I'm just spitballing here as a way to make it feel less icky than just an arms race and who can raise the most money. I just think that that's a weird feeling for NIL, in my opinion.
I think you're going to see it regulate only because we'll see that paying money on the best recruits doesn't always guarantee success.
Yeah.
You're not looking for return on investment on your money. You're looking on return on investment on the field. And when that stops proving to be a 1-to-1, That's when you'll see the money leave the game. No one's going to come down on these people, though. No one's going to come down on them like some think they might ought to.
Yeah. Anyone else on NIL before we move on?
No.
Well, is that hold on, that's the question of the week, right?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Do you think we kind of just covered it there?
Yeah.
I think we kind of did, but
I think you guys went off script.
We did.
We did go off script.
All right, well then, Patrick, here we go, baby. So the commenter of the week comes from our buddy Zach Zerger again. Shout out to Zach Zerger. He is filling the segments. If you want to be the commenter of the week, hit us up on any of our social media platforms. One, we respond pretty well to just about everything. And two, you might just be the commenter of the week. Get a shout out in the next pod. We love it when you do. Patrick, is NIL ruining college football? What do you think?
Okay.
Honestly, I'm sorry. We're not done talking about recruiting. I'm not done talking about recruiting.
What?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Doing here?
You
He
guys
doesn't know how to function.
We're going to go back to it.
Yeah, we're going back to
recruiting.
I just want to align
where we're
there.
going to fit in the commenter of the week, Patrick.
NIL.
Doesn't it make sense?
There needs to be some type of regulation and cap moving forward, and that will eventually, I think, come. I think it's doing really good things and really bad things at the same time. We just haven't figured it out. It's too soon to say.
Perfect. Matt?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a little too early on to figure out if NIL is bad. It's obviously good for the players to be able to secure financial futures for themselves and their families way before they potentially make it to the NFL, which, again, only 2% of college athletes ever make it to professional sports. So it gives these kids the opportunity to have the financial freedom, also get their college paid for and an education. I think it does level the playing field somewhat. I mean, you see Missouri would never probably be in contention for this guy if it wasn't for NIL and obviously the specific law that Missouri passed. But I think Mark pointed out that this is probably going to be something that we are going to see throughout other states, because why wouldn't California or Texas or some of these other bigger states, Florida, have some kind of regulation? Because they obviously want to keep their players in states. That's only better for their schools, their revenues. And again, it all comes down to money at the end of the day. So I think eventually there needs to be a governing body. It's hard to tell exactly the negative side effects right now, but I think it does level the playing field for colleges like Missouri and other maybe smaller schools to possibly attain these 5-star athletes, because they're able to offer more money,
Ryan?
or potentially more money for one person.
No, I don't think it's ruining college football.
I've already said my piece. Mark?
It's a good thing for college football. These kids should be getting all the money they possibly can. The best way that I think you should have it be set up is all these boosters have to put money in an escrow account controlled by the school that then dictates the handouts, because at this point we've got guys not receiving cash they were promised, and that's the dirty side of this. But if you try to regulate NIL money, you're just going to get back to under the table bag money, and that's not better. The cash is going to be there no matter what you do to it.
Yep. Thank you, Zach, for our comments over the week. We appreciate it. Comment down below on our YouTube channel. Read every single one of the comments, and like Mark said, all of our social media accounts as well. Okay, Nate Roberts from Washington High School in Oklahoma. He has decommitted from Notre Dame. Stop me if you've heard this before. A recruit has committed to Notre Dame and since decommitted, and now he is crystal balled to the University of Oklahoma. Sorry if you heard that burp on air, my bad. So yeah, Mark dropped a ball for Nate, or didn't you, Mark?
Yeah, so it had seemed a little clear to me that a decommitment or a straight flip was in the cards at some point, because Nate just keeps on hanging out with Kevin Sperry. Kevin Sperry is a bagman unto himself. I don't know what that guy is doing, but that right arm is the truth, because he shows up in the state of Oklahoma and people are signing up to play for Kevin Sperry in Oklahoma. And I just have a rule. You spend that much. If you are a star recruit and you spend that much time with a stud in-state quarterback, you'll end up where that guy's going to play. So obviously I dropped my ball for Nate Roberts. I think that dude is going to be wearing the crimson and cream. A large issue in his recruitment was the fact that Devon Mitchell was a class of 25 guy. And suddenly you're bringing in 2 tight ends on the exact same timeline. Nate Roberts thinks he's that good. Why would he want to sign up to be tight end too? I can understand that initial feeling of feeling like you might not have a place really, and you're just coming in for depth. Suddenly the game's a little bit different. Dropped one for Nate Roberts. I think he's a Sooner, baby.
Everybody knows what I think about in-state kids. They have to go to OU. If you're a high-quality recruit, you have to go to OU. Plain and simple. OU can't lose on those guys, and I'm hoping that this ends up in a flip. It'd be amazing if it does. A big body, 6'4.5" and 230 according to his Twitter. I'm glad we're specifying now. I'm glad
That was
about
Patrick. 100%. That was Patrick.
No, I mean recruiting websites have him at 6'4", but he's 6'4.5" according to his Twitter.
Well,
So-
and recruiting sites had that TCU massive lineman at 400 pounds because he was at a rivals camp at 400. Well, he's like 455 now. So like
That dude
you know,
is
some
so
of those,
big.
That's not good news.
yeah,
That's bad 50 pounds
yeah,
that he's put on.
yeah. But okay, Matt, Ryan, anything else to add?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, if you look at the top 7 recruits in Oklahoma, we currently have 3 of the 7. And if we convert Nate Roberts, we will have 4 of the 7. Only so there's 2 left that have yet to commit. And we already have 4 of the top 7. That's huge. And that's what this program, that's what we're trying to build with this program. That's what the coaching staff wants. We want to dominate Oklahoma and early. These are 2025 guys.
Oh yeah, great point. Matt?
Isn't one uncommitted from isn't he at Carl Albert? Isn't that where Sperry went?
Marcus
Am I
James
dream-
is
am I
a 25 guy at Marcus James is a 25 guy at Carl Albert, and he plays linebacker and receiver. I would expect him to be getting recruited by Brent Venables at linebacker. He hasn't committed, but he visited for something a few weeks ago. He might be the one you're thinking about.
There's
Yeah,
also
that probably
Tristan
is.
Hayes, who's a cornerback at Carl Albert in the 2025 class. He's
Good
like
stuff,
the
Pat.
top 3 in Oklahoma.
Thank you, Patrick. Matt, anything to add?
Yeah, here are my thoughts. To our loyal listeners that have been around for a little bit, if we could go back, I don't know how many pods ago, it seems like forever, but we were talking about this very move of Kevin Sperry picking up his roots and literally moving to Oklahoma. And honestly,
I was
at
wrong.
first, so was I.
was
I
I.
thought to myself, why would this kid uproot his entire life, move himself to Oklahoma? And now we're seeing the fruits of his labor. I think this is exactly why he did this, to keep those top level guys in the state of Oklahoma. Now you're seeing evidence of, obviously, if Nate ends up flipping, which it seems like good chance that will happen, you're seeing why he wants to be in Oklahoma and finish out his high school career so he can also recruit with BV and these guys. So I was wrong. I'm glad I was wrong, because now it's working out, and hopefully these other guys will continue to commit. I will say as well, I have the privilege of being on the tight end preview pod with Mark and Patrick. So please take a listen when you get a chance, because if you look at this current depth on the roster of tight end position, probably not going to be too impressed. Again, take a listen. I'm not going to go too much detail. But if you have these 2 dudes coming in, those are SEC ready tight ends for a team that plays a lot of 2 tight end sets with Devon Mitchell and possibly Nate. That's a 1-2 punch combo that you want versus potentially what we have going into the season. Again, hopefully someone steps up. There's a lot of good young tight ends in the room, but having these 2 guys come in, sign me up.
Dates to remember. Dates coming up. Remember these dates. August 24th, Andy Bass. That's the kid from Heritage Hall, quarterback slash athlete, more so an athlete. Running back is probably what he's going to end up being. Thank you, Patrick. August 24th for him. August 26th, David Stone. September 8th, Nigel Smith. So those are some big dates to keep on the radar, folks. Football season only a couple weeks away, and recruiting season is hot. And we'll stay with us because if Stone especially, if Stone drops a commitment to OU, definitely expect an EPC right after that happens from the boys. So getting close. Gentlemen, anything else to add before we move on to some big time SEC rowdy news? Patrick?
Yeah.
Rowdy news alert. Matt Gann, rowdy alert.
Hey.
Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go.
Here we go.
Oh my God. Okay. Tailgating, folks, is back on Lindsey.
Thank
Street.
God.
It is back. It's on Lindsey in between. It's on the not on the stadium side of Lindsey, on the opposite side of Lindsey.
On the
Between
grass.
what are the streets? Anybody know?
Jenkins.
Thank you.
Jenkins and is it Asp? Is it Asp?
Think
No,
so.
it's not. Is it Asp? Norman,
that's
our
the-
Norman resident. Tell me what the streets are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'll send the map too if you guys haven't seen it.
Yeah, I've seen the map. I just
It's
can't remember. off
Asp.
the top of
It's
my head.
it's Asp and
Asp.
Jenkins.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's on the. They're saying very specifically it's on the grass,
Yeah, on the grass.
but that road is closed. Also,
So
They
it's
gotta
just
do
that-
the.
it's just
they
that-
have
it's
to
just
open up
that-
the road. They have to
It's
open
just
up
that
the road.
walkway.
Yes,
It's
it's the
just
little
that-
walkway.
okay,
Walkway.
guys.
It's
I think
just
what
the-
they're
It's just the
block.
walkway.
It's just the block
they
where the
think
parking
it's
lot
rowdy.
used to be, and they put the worthless college dorms in. No,
Guys,
Ryan, I'm
no.
so
Hold
mad.
on.
That's
Hold
what
on.
we're losing our minds online about.
Yeah,
I
it's
think what
ridiculous.
they're doing,
Not
That's like
enough.
10 yards
Hey.
of space.
y'all.
Not enough.
I think what they're doing is they're just having that space for all like the tents and stuff like that. I think all the people are going to be probably in the street.
No, there needs to be tents in the street. That whole thing
Oh, yeah,
needs to
that's
be
not-
loaded up.
That's not happening. Not with this pass.
That's like 10
So.
yards of grass. It's like 10 by 5.
Why isn't Lindsey shut down all the way to like the train track?
Because I don't
And
think they
west.
could fill it. I literally don't think they can fill
If
that
you
space.
build it, they will come.
I,
I think you'd fill it.
I think
I
that
say that. I go to Logie's half the games.
It needs to be from Maples. It needs to be from Maples to the train tracks, honestly. I mean,
I think what they're probably doing is they're probably testing this out this year. And they're saying like what's working, what's not. And then their big move is going to come next year with the 2024 release for the SEC. That would be my guess. But I think overall that this is good news. I think it's stupid that they closed that in the first place, and they've brought back at least a portion of it. We're going to see what that looks like throughout the year. And I think this is honestly like a testing moment to say like we have to do something for the SEC. I think this is them acknowledging that they have to do something for the SEC, and it might not be like rowdy enough yet, but just like give them some time to see if we can like even expand this. You know, that's my thoughts.
So I have the announcement in front of me. Out of respect for students who reside on campus, fans setting up tailgate equipment at the Lindsey Street designated area will be permitted to begin at 7 a.m. on the day of a home football game. Space may be occupied beginning at 5 p.m. on the day immediately preceding the game, but stakes may not go into the ground until 7 a.m. on game day. Shout out all the pledges. That's all I got to say about that.
They're back, baby.
they're
It
I
so
remember-
back.
does say in there, Mace, like it says grass only, right? Like
It does.
in the
It
thing.
does.
Yeah.
Dude, McCade
Yeah.
Matauer is going to be so mad when all those pledges are right next to the stadium. He's going to be
Oh
real
my
mad.
god! Do you think he's gonna drive by at 7 before the game?
Yeah, with his big train horn.
yeah, he will. Definitely. The
What a
train horn's
storm.
coming out.
I hope
Can
he-
I interject real fast, Mason?
100%.
Just I lived in Headington the first year that Headington was built, and so I never had to. We didn't try to send our pledges out there to get space.
Mhm.
Don't want to go too in depth, but we had the best tailgate spot on campus, so we didn't have to do that crap. And I would see them lining up the Friday, the
Mhm.
Thursday night to Friday morning before the game, and then someone's got to like hold it down
Yep.
until people get there to
Mhm.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Yes.
That's what you want.
I completely
Because you
agree.
need your rowdiest people right there.
If
And
you
we need
yes.
more of it.
If you care enough
Yeah.
to get a spot that bad right there, 100% that's who needs to be there. The people who will camp out for 36 hours just to be able to have a spot. 100%. Also, I'm literally cracking up looking at the map of seeing the spots they designated for like new tailgaters and the spot that they have for private
Yeah.
for-profit tailgating events. It's literally just so hysterical. I'm like, dude, just say it's a money grab. That's all.
They're gonna have
That's-
to. They're gonna have to toss those
They
next year.
have to.
They have
They
to.
have to. If they
Maybe
have
not
any
That
this
can't be
year.
where the money grab is. That can't be where the money grab is.
They-
it's- I have no idea.
They
They're
need
gonna
to
have to
do
do
something
something.
to make the parking lots work. There's
Yes.
at the end of the day, there's not enough space, there's not enough grass unless you have people move cars out of parking lots. Headington parking lot should be full of hundreds of tents.
Rowdy.
Sarkey's, hundreds of tents.
If I had it my way, South Oval would be lit up. But I'll never.
They're
have it.
never gonna.
I know
do
they
that.
won't
They
do
will-
that.
They're
but
they will
never,
never
gonna
do
do
that.
that.
I'm saying for next year, if this is truly a test, next year I think the next move is opening up parking lots.
They have
Even
to.
if sell them, I don't care. There needs to be
I-
hundreds of tents in the parking lots.
Sell them
think the-
specifically to students. Give students an easy way to guarantee themselves spots, and then you'll see guaranteed rowdiness. You might see kids pass out, but
Yeah.
that's
wonder
what's
if they're-
rowdy.
I wonder if they're not doing Pat. I wonder if they're not doing the street of Lindsey for like emergency response reasons or
I-
something like
I
that.
get
Or
it.
there's
I
some
get
kind of
it.
like law that you can't block a street that close to a massive stadium or something.
I totally get it.
I don't
and
know.
and I don't.
But-
We're
expect
already
them-
changing the law.
That's true. I don't expect them to
But,
open
like,
up
the
the
state
entirety of Lindsay Street, but I don't think it's enough. Like just doing that is not enough.
Guess we'll find out.
Yep.
Can someone
Let it-
tell me for the state of Oklahoma what a larger economic event is on a per event basis than an Oklahoma football game? There isn't like a single, oh, we got some oil today. That's not more. Open it up. Open it all up. Your responsibility to your state as a publicly funded university is to provide the best experience.
You need to be able to get an ambulance in there, though. All
For
I'm gonna
sure.
say. So,
Oh, God, that is not what we need.
you
That's
can't-
Big 12 thoughts.
Big 12, not rowdy enough.
Bingo.
I will never get over this. When I took my SEC fiance to an OU football game, how just disappointed and uncool she thought I was when I took her to our tailgating scene. It hurts me still.
It's
To
tough.
this day.
Well, you know what? I don't know. We go to fun little things.
Like,
Pat.
I-
That kind of hurts me.
I
You
know,
had
it's
a great
like- I was
time,
in full, like, an
Patrick.
environment-
Jesus, just move to
environmentally.
Tennessee already.
Just
God.
like from a whole holistic environment standpoint, she had a great time because we were, obviously we're the program guys, but yeah, you're right. I should move to Tennessee.
You should.
Also, hey, keep in mind, I'm throwing
My
this out
water
there.
right here.
I'm throwing this
Oh
out there
my
because we've
God.
kind of kicked it around. We're gonna be doing some meetups, some PGP meetups at Logie's. Just meet us at Logie's.
Me is the
Like,
Logies,
just-
baby.
Just meet us at Logie's. You know
Not
what I mean?
sponsored.
That's
like,
where we'll
not
always
sponsored.
be.
Not sponsored.
Seats are
but,
not
like,
guaranteed. We aren't even guaranteed.
Beers
Yeah.
on you.
Yeah, 100%. Let us know
In
down below in the
Goober, you'll be at
comments.
like one.
Let us know down below in the comments if you have ever tailgated on Lindsay. If you have a favorite memory from tailgating on Lindsay Street now that it's back. We read every
And
single one of your comments.
what else they should do? Because this isn't enough.
Yep. What else do they do? Okay. Dylan Gabriel makes the 2023 Manning Award preseason watch list. When did this become an award? I know it's a thing now, but like, when did we start nationally accepting an award named after the Mannings?
Oh, they're like legendary. I mean, I know one of
I-
them is at Texas, but this
No,
was
no. I
it had to
sincerely-
happen eventually.
I didn't know when it start, like when, because it obviously hasn't been like a 10-year thing. Like, is the award like 3 years old or 2 years old? I don't know. I genuinely can't tell you.
I'm looking at
Probably. Since
I don't know.
2004.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Didn't know
It
that.
says presented annually since 2004 football season to the Collegiate American Football Quarterback as judged by the Sugar Bowl Committee to be the best in the United States.
Okay.
Kyler Murray and Baker
Committee.
Mayfield won this.
I don't
And I
remember
had no
seeing a
idea.
social media graphic for either of those. That's pretty wild. Okay. Well, regardless,
This list has so many.
it does. Does it?
But there's only one
Yeah.
winner a year.
The
Yeah.
watch list. How many people are on the watch list?
There's a lot of people on the watch list.
It's like every
I-
watch
I
list. There's
took
going
a
to be a
list.
lot of people at the. There's going to be a lot of people on each.
Yeah, but
watch
for this one, there's really only one person in this position, so like, should be a little smaller than the list.
I think
If
Mark
we're
is still
talking wide
counting.
receivers, wide receivers can be a long list because multiple wide receivers.
There's 33. And
Quarterbacks.
it's in, yeah, on the list. So like, all right, take that for what it is. And it's in alphabetical order. And guys, I didn't realize that until I got to the last name on the list, Caleb Williams. And I was like, what, where are they just not putting it? That's what I was thinking the whole time I'm counting.
Yeah.
That would be really funny. But 33, I mean, yeah, I would hope he's on this list.
Yeah, maybe he's a
It
top
would
10
kind of be
quarterback.
embarrassing. It would be embarrassing if he wasn't. So
For sure.
Pat,
yeah.
we need bucket hat if you're gonna be doing things like that.
did he say a top 10 quarterback?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
you
will
gotta-
easily finish as he's about to break the college record for most passing yards ever,
No, break into the top 10.
breaking into the top 10, which is important to note. But no one else on that 32 other quarterbacks on the list, I doubt have that opportunity.
That's because Caleb Williams is leaving after
It's
this
the
year. He's
second year.
been here for 3 years.
He will have probably easily top 10 in yardage with this
But
offense.
that doesn't make you a good quarterback.
I don't care. He's a top 10 quarterback in this season coming up.
we've done the Dylan Gabriel dance.
You know, when you look at the
a lot of
list, he
times.
might be, but it's a back top 10. It's a back of the top 10.
The
Yeah,
back
I
of the
think-
top 10 for sure.
I have no problem saying Dylan Gabriel's a top 10 quarterback in college football right now. I have zero problem saying that. You want to go top 5, we'll have a debate. But top 10, I have him there. I think he is.
No, I got to 10 really fast, actually.
Did you really? Wow.
Faster than I thought. So just looking at the watch list, right? Let's
Yeah.
do this. Let's do this because we have a little bit of time here. Jalen Daniels at Kansas. Would you take him?
Yes.
He's a better playmaker.
Sure.
Jaden Daniels at LSU. Would you take him? He's a senior.
Sure.
I would take him.
Yeah.
KJ Jefferson. Mason?
I mean, Arkansas fans think he's good, but I don't think he's better than Dylan Gabriel. I think that
Okay,
team
then
runs
let's,
off.
then
Raheem
let's not
Sanders.
count him. Then
Okay.
let's not count him.
Okay.
I think Riley Leonard at Duke is better. I think Drake May at Carolina is better. I think Grayson McCall at Coastal Carolina has shown us that he is better. I think JJ McCarthy is going to be better. I think Bo Nix is a better quarterback.
I
I think Michael
disagree.
Penix Jr. Fair enough. I think he brings more to the table, and the ceiling is higher. The lows are lower, but I think the ceiling is higher. Cam Rising,
Mm-hmm.
do that. Jordan Travis at Florida State, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Joe Milton.
And I haven't said Caleb Williams yet. So that got me to 11. And if you want to argue names, Pat, if you really think Joe Milton finishes the year as the starter over Nico, sure, maybe. But I don't. So he's not going to win this.
I don't want people to think we're being negative because I've actually thought about this a lot. Dylan wasn't a ceiling raiser last year. At some point in time, I had in my head, why aren't we looking at the portal? We never did because Dylan is the best quarterback in the country for this offense. And so I would take him over anyone else on that list.
You would take Joe
you
Milton.
are.
I'd rather have
incorrect.
No,
You are
I'd rather-
incorrect.
You would take
I mean,
Joe
I
Milton.
don't.
Literally-
I won't go rattle off names, but I mean, just off the top of my head, I'd rather have Dylan Gabriel than Daniels in this offense. I would. I personally would.
there's two Daniels, but you can say
You mean
both.
like
It's fine.
Kansas Daniels.
Kansas Daniels.
Yeah,
Kansas
yeah.
Daniels.
A lot of his is betting on upside. I'll give you that all day.
But I mean, I get the point for sure, and I understand, like we've talked about ad nauseum on this podcast. I get the knocks with Dylan. I 100% do. I understand, but again, as OU fans, I think we've been spoiled, and I think we don't know a good thing when we have it because we expect him to be a Heisman finalist and expect him to be the number one passer in the country and leading us to a Big 12 championship, waltzing into one. And like, that's just not who he is. But is he good? 100%. That's the point I have that I've stuck with for over a year now. I feel like that's what it is.
I think a top 10 quarterback should be able to do what you were just talking about. Like,
You think some of those guys that Mark named off would do that? Bo Nix ain't doing jack shit. Give me
I
a
don't know,
break
man.
on that. That's a
I
joke.
don't know.
Bo Nix has been in football for 4 years. He ain't done nothing.
But that's
he
what
ain't
I'm
done
saying.
nothing.
That's a name who was in the transfer portal, and we weren't looking
I like.
because Dylan's
I'm
the
not
best guy
saying I
for
would
this
have
team.
rather had like Bo Nix than I think Bo Nix is probably more talented than Dylan is. I think he's shown more of an upside than Dylan has last year, which is what I'm going off of. I don't really care about the UCF years. I care about like what he showed last year, and it wasn't enough, in my opinion. We'll see. We'll see this year. We'll see if he's a top 10 in my mind. I don't know.
Bo Nix had a demonstrably better season last season than Dylan Gabriel did. And Dylan Gabriel had Marvin Mims, Braden Willis, Eric Gray, Anton Harrison, Wanya Morris, all around him. I don't know anyone that played for that Oregon offense last year. All the guys I named are NFL draft picks.
I don't think you guys.
I think Bo Nix is good, guys.
I don't think you guys are watching enough fall camp highlights
That's right.
of Dylan Gabriel.
That's right, Patrick.
I just don't think you're on OU Twitter.
Matt, anything
If
to
you
add?
truly
Not
believe
enough.
that.
Not enough.
Anything to add, Matt?
I mean, I hope DG is a top 10 guy. We'll see. I have no idea. There's a lot of good names that Mark lists off that list that I would rather have. So we'll see.
Okay, let us know
Yeah,
down below in
that's
the
all I got.
comments what you think about that quarterback list. All right, OU in the top 20 AP top 20 poll, preseason poll came out. OU coming in at number 20. Okay, what do we think?
Perfect.
I think
I
that's the
love it.
right spot.
Yep.
Texas at 11, I believe. Is
No, I
that
don't
correct?
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm
That's
just-
fine.
I'm just spouting off because I know people are like, well, what was Texas? Because they
No,
died.
I mean, I know it's perfect because of like it'll help our mentality, things like that. But do you honestly think we were the top 20?
Patrick, we went 6-7 last year.
Yeah,
Ryan's
we-
negativity.
maybe-
I'm not here for Ryan's
No,
negativity.
We almost beat
today.
Florida State,
look,
who's 8th
look.
this year.
Look, we almost beat Florida State. We did not beat Florida
We
State.
weren't 12 spots away.
And that was in
from
a bowl game. We sucked last year, guys. We were 6-7. That has to go through our heads. There is no reason in hell that people should vote for us to be on this damn list in the first place, other than our brand name of Oklahoma. I'm not being negative here. I'm being realistic.
Sure feels like
If we want to show ourselves and we want to show that we are better than 20, let's go out there and show it. But right now, we don't have that.
So Oregon State would beat us.
I'm not.
Come on,
that's not the
guys.
point. That's not the point.
They got
of
DJ,
this.
man. They
That's
got
the
DJ.
That's
point
not
of-
the point of this.
It's a point for me. That's the point for me.
Good banter. Good banter. I think it's
Well,
a perfect.
I
It's a
get-
perfect pole position. I think. Go ahead, Mark.
I think it's a perfect pole position. Pat, if you wanted to flip us in Oregon State, that's fine. But the general thing is like 17 to 20 is the sweet spot. And I'm perfectly pleased with that being where we are. I think we have a better season than that. I think it comes together better
Yeah,
than that.
I agree with
But
that.
the idea that outsiders are going to look at this against the entirety of the country and come to that, hey, they should be top 5 conclusion that you're in. Sorry, that's Tennessee. You think OU should be top 10.
Thanks.
Thanks.
But this top 10 conclusion, I get why we're 20. I think that's a great place to start the season.
Give me Washington in Washington tomorrow who beat them.
I'm fine. I'm fine with being 20. There's a fun little stat thing that was going around on X, on Twitter, whatever it is, that the last time OU started a season with a lefty quarterback pre-ranked number 20, they won a national title. That's
Shout out to Josh Heupel, baby.
That's just fun. But
bunch of
Yeah.
those.
We had
connections.
one of those last year too. It was like we had a lefty quarterback, we beat Nebraska, Texas, and Oklahoma State, and we won a championship.
Wasn't it?
And
like
then that
last
went
year?
down
Yeah.
that went downhill very quickly. So sorry, Mace. I know
did Brent
you're
Venables do
tired
something
of
to make you mad? Like,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Look, I'm just trying
Dude,
to
we're
temper
2 weeks away.
expectations, man.
We're 2 weeks away,
Look.
and you're ready to bury this team.
Like,
what's going
I
on?
am not ready to bury this team. Look, here's the thing. I got really excited for this team last year. I was hyped. We were talking playoff. I was in a headspace that I don't think was very good for me because of the fall that came after, right? I do not want to be there. I do not want to be there this year. So I'm keeping my head a little bit like, hey, let's not get too crazy. Let's figure out what we're doing, and then I'll get excited. But right now, this team is not shown on the field what they are capable of right now. So I want to be able to see that before I start saying it. And if that makes me cynical, if that makes me negative, well, then we got some good banter for the pod, you know?
So I'm
Negative
gonna.
T.
I want to. This is the last thing I have. I want to say something to Ryan and any other OU fan who's going out there with the same mentality that Ryan has. If you're not coming into this football season ready for this team to dictate your happiness or unhappiness for the next 4 to 5 months, I got nothing for you. Like, you should be coming in here understanding and believing that they are going to carry you to the highest peaks of happiness that you could ever exist. That's why we do sports. That's why we do fandom. Is not to be rational. It's not to
Dude,
be
people. Okay, hold on. Hold. the
No,
horses.
stop. Let him keep going. That was
no, because-
beautiful. Mason Prince, everybody.
Thank you, Patrick.
Prince.
Let him
Let's
cook.
get
Thank
Let him
you.
cook.
Let's go,
Thank
man.
you.
Let him cook.
That's all. Mark
Are you
singing
kidding me? Are you kidding me, Ryan?
Look,
Look.
guys, let me do my thing. Okay,
Okay.
let me
Look,
process
Ryan,
this and my thing.
I was where you were at before fall camp, but once I started looking at the highlight reels, I
Fall
couldn't.
fall camp doesn't mean shit, like you people have talked about in the past, right?
You're not watching them.
people.
Like who was the one who
What do
was like,
mean,
you know,
people?
wide receiver?
Best movie.
What's his name?
Andrew
blanking.
Anthony.
No,
The God?
no.
Gavin Freeman.
Thank you, Gavin Freeman. Everybody was like, he's coming out in camp, he's doing the best, and then I think Mason, it was you who was like, I don't care about camp. I need to see results on the field. That's the same thing I'm talking about, baby. The same thing. The exact
You're the same
thing.
person who said 10 wins when we did win predictions. So
Exactly. I'm saying 10 wins, but I'm also not coming out here with like this ecstatic feeling like we're going to take over the world. You know,
See,
I'm
you need to
trying
leave that. You need to leave that crap at the door.
like, I'm trying to like whelm. Is whelm the right word here? Be
Nope.
I don't know, but I'm
That's
telling.
not the word.
I'm
Not a
telling
word.
do
you
you
right
think we
now-
lose a game at home, Ryan? The answer is no. So I need you to check that attitude at the door when you come to Norman for games.
on September
my
2nd.
attitude is going to be my attitude no matter what you guys want it to be. So you're
On
going to have
September
to deal with it.
2nd, when we walk into that stadium together, Ryan, you better have your mind right. Do you understand me? Because
Wait, we
I'm
gotta
not
get to-
walking in there
Look,
with you thinking, I sure hope we show up today. Golly gee. No.
golly gee.
No.
I would never say that. I've never said that in my life.
Gosh.
You make me
Hey.
sound like I'm an 85-year-old man.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Look,
I'll throw a good
Look,
golly G out there
all you
sometimes.
really need me to do, all you need. I've been away from Norman for a very long time. I just need to get it into my system. I need to walk in the Logies, And it's all gonna come flooding back to me, baby. I'm like, I know it's gonna happen. But right
Can't
now,
wait.
I just need to temper my expectations a little bit, you know?
Get a blue
Ryan-
moon leader in you, and you're going to be a believer. I'll tell you right
No,
now.
Miller Lite, baby. Always.
Speaking of tempering expectations, Brent Venables today said, "We're far from perfect. We've got a long way to go. Not coach speak. We've just got a lot to improve on." Ryan,
Sure.
I hope
What do you
that
want him
helps
to
you.
say?
Yeah, I hope that helps
sounds so
validate your
hot.
feelings, Ryan. I am so ready to get hurt.
Yeah, no question about it. I'm ready to get hurt again. No question about it.
I know. He just said that we're not perfect. I know he's gonna have them perfect.
We've never had a season in my lifetime, basically, as an OU fan. I mean, the 90s were there, but I was tiny, like last season. We've never had a season like that. I've never dealt with a season like that. I've never had the highs and the lows of that season. And I think I just need to be able to like breathe a little bit, see what's going on, watch the first game, and then I'll probably be back to my usual self. But
Matt, jump in there
Yeah.
real quick.
Boomer. You live and
Okay.
die by the sword that is OU football. You're either
I
in.
love that.
see, you
Or
guys
you're
are
out.
just trying to gang
Listen,
up on me
hey,
at this
hey,
point.
Ryan,
This is lame.
Ryan.
This is lame.
I am born and raised in Norman, Oklahoma. I do this to myself.
Really? Are you
You
sure?
could've
Because you
fooled me.
chose
Single
Charleston's for your
year.
favorite restaurant. No,
Yeah, it's a
Best
great
episode
restaurant.
ever.
Best.
That's a sidebar. I know what I'm getting myself into every single year. I will always have high expectations. I try to temper them as much as I can, but that's just not possible. Not for my love for OU football. You got to jump in or jump out.
Top
Mark.
10.
Yeah, it's just really unfortunate that this is how we have to announce Ryan's going to be taking a season-long hiatus from the podcast. We love him. We thought we could make it work, but
It's just
there's
not
different
working.
vibes about the product.
It's
So-
just not working. So this will be
thank
my
you for
final
all
pod.
you've done.
I have
for
now
all you've
been
done for us.
excommunicated from the program, guys.
No,
We
we
prefer
have-
ex-Kyle, but
Maybe just get another Ryan in here. We know like 12 of them. So they can
You got
just
me
take
your
my
name is
spot.
Ryan. Hit us up in the
Yeah,
comments.
hit us up
Let
in the
us
comments.
know.
Ryan
we don't even
Heil,
have
looking
to
at
change
you.
graphics.
Looking at you, Ryan Heil. Okay.
The
So
only one left.
let's what, Pat, do you want to have anything to add?
No.
No,
Oh, my bad.
all that I would say is like shout out to Ryan Heil because he would 100% take my spot if given the opportunity. I
crushed
know
it,
he
yeah.
would.
So would Ryan Johnson.
Would not
They
even
both
think
would.
twice about it.
Ryan Johnson as well. It's a good point. Okay. Let us know down below in the comment what Ryan we should replace Ryan with.
That should be our poll of the week.
Yeah, our poll of the week. Which Ryan? Ryan Gosling.
Okie Trades is about to comment. My name is Ryan.
Okie Trades. What's your real name, Okie Trades?
I'll
Oh,
be your Ryan.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, one last reminder, Patrick. Remind the people about Hype Shoes before we get to our MVP of the week.
Yes, join our Pick'em League. Stop what you're doing. Go to the link. Join our Pick'em League. Sponsored by Hype Shoes. Top 3 winners get a pair of Hype Shoes. Matt Gaines holding them up right now. You can get those or other universities or a custom-made pair. So please join our Pick'em League. We got to get 100 people in there, people. It's going to be awesome.
It's gonna be sick. Join. Free to join.
Second last reminder. Check out programguys.com.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you.
Friday, we will be having our first ever Program Guys positional preview podcast dropping for a position. I'll figure that out when we get there. And that's where you can find it. We're going to boost it out. Please go check it out. We've worked really hard on this and would love a lot of support and feedback. So appreciate that. Y'all are the program.
Love that. Thank you so much. All right. PGP MVP of the week time. Ryan, we'll start with you.
Yeah. So I just thought of mine while we were in this pod because we were talking a lot about Kevin Sperry and like his influence and like moving to Oklahoma and how great that was. And like I was of the camp. I was like, I don't understand why this dude is moving like their entire family up here. Now I see it, and I think that's great. I just want to give a shout out MVPs related to that. Kevin Sperry's parents, man, uprooting their entire life, going to Oklahoma to follow the dream of their son and say, like, this is what I need to do. And them saying, yeah, we're part of the program too. This is what we're going to do. And That's awesome. That's fantastic. And he could not have done what he did without them. And I think that's important. And I think that's special. And so Kevin Sperry's parents are my MVPs for the week.
There's a little brother too, and
Well, the parents.
If he doesn't get a package deal, that's going to blow a little.
I mean, the parents are the ones who made that decision, I think, at the end of the day. So, good for them.
Love that. Patrick, MVP.
Yeah, it was a couple days ago, guys. I think it was about 3 days ago. I was walking up my staircase and I was thinking to myself, Kevin Sperry is going to be my MVP this week. So Kevin Sperry is also my MVP. And I thought about that a few days ago. So I'm not going to live it down now. Just because Ryan did it right.
Yeah. I didn't do it. I said his parents. So his parents.
Well,
very
okay.
Specifically.
He seems like he's just doing everything right, man. That's the thing too, is like he's mature enough to be like, to just do everything right. Like going to Jaden Nickens' commitment. He is one of our largest assets, and he hasn't even committed to OU yet. Or he has committed, but he's not even enrolled.
Yep.
He's around all the time.
Yep.
All these guys get to know him.
Big facts. Okay, I'm gonna go. My MVP of the week is OSU fans, Oklahoma State fans in general. Oklahoma State fans, my MVP of the week, because for the first time since 2013, they have sold out their season ticket allotment. That's 49,555 tickets. A lot of people would say, OSU, you claim to be loyal and true. How could you not have sold out season tickets for 10 whole years? But I'm not saying that. Other people would, but not me. So OSU fans, way to go. Way to support your team always, no matter how good or bad they are. Selling out for the first time in 10 years. It's great. Loyal and true all the way through.
It's absolutely not because the last Bedlam is in Stillwater this year. Absolutely not. And they absolutely will sell it again next year. Sell out again next year for sure.
100%.
Did they decrease their stadium capacity?
I'm not sure. They did construction, but I don't know if it decreased capacity or not.
Might have helped.
Yep. Could be. Okay. Mark?
Yeah, my MVP this week is going to be voice actor Johnny Hardwick. He was the beloved actor behind the voice of Dale Gribble on King of the Hill. And if you haven't consumed any King of the Hill, just go get yourself ingratiated with Dale Gribble and the guys. I think there's probably very few shows that I watched a bunch as a kid, like as much as King of the Hill as a kid, as I did King of the Hill. And if anyone wants to just go hang out in the alley and have a beer, I am always down. So MVP, Johnny Hardwick, Dale Gribble, rest in peace.
Magan, round us out.
I don't even know how I can follow that up. I mean, Mark, that was
look.
Yeah, that's tough.
Who are you gonna choose?
I'm gonna do loser MVP. We talked about this a little bit earlier. I'm gonna go loser Sandra Bullock, star of one of my favorite movies, The Blind Side.
This is not Sandra Bullock's fault.
As recent,
no, but
I wonder how she
news.
feels. I wonder how she feels. I've been thinking
in light
a lot
of
about
recent
this.
news. Michael Orr, the NFL star portrayed in that movie as the left tackle, adopted by Sean and Leanne to come in their family, play football, go to the NFL, has come out and said nearly 20 years later, Orr says a couple misled him in signing away his legal rights, filing a lawsuit against them. Sandra Bullock would have never taken this role if she would have known the tragedies that Michael Orr has faced. And she did really great, and she looks great in that movie.
Jesus Christ, Cam.
Loser VP, Sandra Bullock.
She literally won an Oscar for that movie.
Better
Her
for
performance is great.
The performance is really great.
Can't take that away. Can't take that away.
People have been like,
you can't take it away
take away the Oscar, and I'm like,
it's not like a Heisman Trophy, you know. You can't take away an Oscar.
The best performance is Matt Gann viewing this whole tragedy through the Sandra Bullock perspective.
Heard that story today, and he goes, Oh, poor Sandra. Hadn't she
Poor,
been
poor
through enough?
Sandra. Man, what a tough.
First
Tough
the divorce
break.
and now this.
Oh my gosh. When does
Tough year.
Sandra get a
Tough year.
break?
Yeah.
When does Sandra get a break?
I wonder
Oh
if Nick
my
Saban would have done that movie if he would have known.
I mean, yeah, money's money for
Nick
Big Nick.
Saban did know.
I know, he's-
He's walking in that living room for a
Something
reason.
Nick Saban
Nick,
did.
Nick Saban's like, I told them to give you the conservatorship. What are you talking about?
The Tuies approached him and he was like, no, this isn't my kind of deal. This isn't my kind of deal.
No, you know who you need to meet? Ed Orgeron.
And Michael Orr's head coach at the time, Hugh Freeze, said,
Dude.
don't
Oh,
mind if
God.
I do.
Oh God.
It's so bad.
Oh,
It's so
rough.
bad.
Good banter, boys. Good
All
banter.
right,
LVP,
MVP.
Sandra Bullock.
Good MVP.
Episode 84 in the books. Be sure to like, subscribe on our YouTube channel. You can follow us on Twitter, Program Guys with Z, Instagram, Program Guys with Z, Facebook page, Program Guys Podcast, on TikTok, our Program Guys Podcast. However, you get your podcast, like you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Join the Pick'em League on ESPN. Be on the lookout for the content that we're dropping on Friday for positional previews for the season. ProgramGuys.com. You can check it out there. Thanks so much for joining us. That's going to do it this week. We'll see you next. Pat, take us out.
Keep pushing it, baby.
3, 2, 1.